Hello, welcome to RC Video Reviews. Today it's the maiden flight of the FMS 2300mm Fox. Before we get started, I do need to let you know this video is sponsored by FMS. I'd like to say thanks to FMS for sending this Fox out for review. And I'll remind you, if you'd like to pick one up for yourself, I'll have affiliate links in the description. If you use my affiliate links, the channel gets a little bit of a kickback, but don't worry, that's not a cost that you have to bear. FMS picks up the tab for that one. Before we fly, just a quick little build recap. These plug-and-play planes are so easy to put together. You put the wings on, connect a few wires, screw the horizontal stabilizer in, and you're all set. I didn't have any real issues with the assembly except for one tiny little thing, and that's that the Y cables that connect the ailerons and the flaps were not really long enough to reach up to the receiver. So I had to add an extension, which was a small affair because I keep that kind of stuff in my stash. So no big deal for me on that part. The other thing that I point out is that based on the balance marks on the wing, they recommended a 1300 3-cell battery, and I couldn't get it to balance with that. I had to use a 2200 3-cell battery. But this has got such a light wing loading, I'm confident that that will not be a problem for this plane. And by putting the 2200 right in the battery slot, it balanced perfectly. All right, here's a look at the radio setup. I'm using a Happy Model EPW6. And if you can count channels, you know that means that I'm not going to have the full house controls where I have the flaps and ailerons aligned for crow. I just didn't set that up on this plane yet, but it'll be a basic configuration where I do have spoilers for the flaps, and obviously the aileron, elevator, and rudder, they all work. And then, as I mentioned, there's the 3-cell 2200 battery, and that fits in there just perfectly. And you can see just right there, I've got a black mark on the wing. That is the center of the range. I forget the number exactly, but let's say it's 85 to 95. I put it right on 90, so that's where I put the balance mark. One other thing I'd recommend is that the wings are held on by clamping the spar tube, and they use these really small Phillips screws. I'd recommend, if you buy this plane, to take a look at those screws and buy some spares, because if you plan on removing these wings and installing them at the field, I know that those screw heads will eventually wear out and they'll strip and you won't be a happy camper. So get yourself some spares before you even start flying it, and that way if you see damage on your screw head, you can just replace it and keep flying. All right, at the field I've got Tim and Dave, so Dave's going to film, Tim's going to launch, I'm going to fly. Let's get this one up in the air. One last control systems check. I do have a spoiler up, so you can see that right there on the flaps. Here's flaps down. I've got right aileron should come up, and it does. Left aileron should come up, and it does. Hey Dave, this is one other thing I want you to check out. I mentioned this in my review, and it's an area that needs a little bit of attention. Check out the trailing edge on the aileron when I move the aileron. You see that flex in there? That's what I was talking about in the video.
Okay.
You see how it's bending, and all the way on the tip, it's not very effective.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And I did flex those too. So on these planes, you got to reinforce that. That is not correct. That aileron should go up all the way across. All right.
Move it up and down a minute.
There you go. Can you see it bending?
Go down.
There's down.
Oh yeah.
You see that flex in there?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
It looks actually like it's really high tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe that's what they intended on the design. You never know.
Sometimes, it looks really high tech,
yeah.
Man. I never seen that done. Wow, That's going to be really efficient. Okay.
All right, you ready to go? Tim's going to launch it. Here we go, Tim. Go ahead and give her a chuck. That is exactly what I expected out of this plane. Very easy. I don't go through the standard battery tests on these planes just because that's not what they're meant to do. But what I will do is just fly around a little bit off power. We'll do some glide bys, let Dave get a little bit of a look at the plane. I did keep it on high rates. I like it on high rates better. It feels like I have a lot more control than being on low. And I did give it one little click of instant trim. I'm going to do that again. Instant trim to the rescue, and there we go. We're gliding. That's power off. Into the wind. Yeah, I think this one would definitely benefit from using the sport mode where you bind the flaps to the ailerons to help turn, especially at slow speeds and off power like I just flew by. I think that would definitely be beneficial. Oh, gaining a little altitude there. And by the way, oh, there it goes again. A receiver that would be really nice for this plane would be the Radiomaster ERHEV, because then you can get the Vario and you can get that full set of controls where you can do things with the flaps like crow and the sport mode where you link them together. It's got a heck of a good climb rate, I can tell you that. Plenty of power on the motor. Definitely better to use the rudder to turn. No question about that. 100% better. Flaps were down there just a little bit. I'm going to come around and bring those flaps on again, Dave. We'll see what happens with a little bit of flaps.
All right.
I want to see how slow I can get it. Yeah, it definitely turns better with the rudder. All right, flaps are down now. I do not have a mix on this one for flaps with the elevator. I didn't do that. Yeah, that's slow.
That is nice.
That's slow. Beautiful. I don't know if Dave's camera is going to be able to pick up those flaps being down or not, but they are definitely down.
The camera may, my eyes won't.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Whoops. I put the spoilers up. Don't do that. All right, I'm going to do a couple little low flybys and then we're going to get it on the ground. Nice little powered off glide for you. All right, time to land.
You going to put it on the black?
You know what? I don't think so. I'm going to put it in the grass.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think being in the grass would be better.
Okay, grass on and across from the right. Okay, I got you.
Yep. We're going to come at it from my side of the runway.
Yeah, I got you.
Oop. That's a cool thing about a glider. Even if you make a mistake and yank elevator like that, it doesn't even stall. It just kind of porpoises a little bit and sets down. Beautiful little plane. It's exactly what you'd expect out of a glider. Let's get it back on the bench and we'll wrap this video up. Hey, if you like the work I do here on RC Video Reviews, please consider joining me on Patreon. For about the price of a cup of coffee, you can help me keep making videos just like this one. If you'd like to help out, there's a link in the description and on your screen. All right, guys, that wraps up my flight of the 2300mm Fox. This is exactly what you'd expect out of this type of plane. Very easy natured. The hand launch was ridiculously easy. It just took off and flew right away. I would definitely work on the configuration on this one to tie those flaps to the ailerons and get yourself set up with crow. I think that'd be a nice upgrade for this configuration. I didn't have any problems with the way the plane flew. It's exactly what you'd expect. Thanks to FMS for sending the 2300mm Fox out for review. If you like this kind of content, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe and hit the bell so you know new videos hit the channel. YouTube should recommend another video for you right now. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy.
Hasta la vista, everyone.